Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Are You Smarter Than an English Major? I'm your host, Rhetoric, and we are entering the final segments of our show. Sadly, third runner up Chanel lost the previous round for not properly imitating the text given by our monkey, Mr. Wiggles, as she just ate a banana, jumped on a vine, and just left the show entirely. I guess she took imitation a bit too seriously. Let's take the time to speak with our contestants. Everyone, give a hand for Ari and Samantha. Our first guest is Ari. Hello, Ari, and tell us what you do for a living.
Well, I flip burgers at a burger joint near the studio.
Really? So, how come you know so much about English, Ari?
Well, I just read a lot of books in my spare time. I love learning new things. And yeah,
That's really cool. And what about you, Samantha? What do you do?
Well, Rick, I'm a professional Pokemon card collector.
That's oddly specific, Sam. Is there any money in that?
Well, I just sold a limited edition 1997 Pikachu trainer card for $7,000.
$7,000?
Its actual estimated value is worth a lot more, but I needed the money to pay for my liberal arts degree.
Oh, hey, well, it's not better than an English degree. I mean, who needs that, right?
Exactly.
Now that we know our contestants, let's hear from questions from our lovely listeners at home. Take it away, Casey.
Hey guys, it's Casey Canon here, back with another questions from our listeners segment on Mr. Rhetoric's Are You Smarter Than an English Major? This one comes from little Annie all the way in Indiana and reads, Dear Casey, have you or any of your staff of the show ever invented something super cool or rad? Hi Casey, we here at Are You Smarter Than an English Major invent things all the time, but it might not be the exact way you think. The way we invent involves a lot of research. We research topics for the game show questions, we research the contestants we invite on, and we even research the prizes we give to them. It's very important for us to do our very best in this stage of invention so that it can set the tone for an absolutely perfect show. All right, the next question is from Tommy in California. He asks, is arranging the whole show a really difficult thing to do? Sup, Tommy? Arrangement is one of the hardest parts for me, actually. It takes a lot of work to organize all the information that we gathered while we were inventing and researching all the components of the show. This part is especially crucial because it needs to be arranged and made in the perfect way for all of our guests and our staff to understand. If the staff doesn't understand, there's no way the audience will. Next up is Lexi from Ohio. Her question reads, Miss Canon, how does everyone that works on Are You Smarter Than an English Major have so much style? What's your secret? Thank you so much, sweetheart. Honestly, the way we maintain so much style here is really by making our work our own. Once we have researched and organized all the information that we need to create the show, we add our own style to it all. This step is particularly fun because everyone can be very unique and individual with how they do it in their own way. Great question, Lexi. 2 more to go for those counting. This one comes to us all the way from Alaska. Philip wants to know, how does using your memory help the show in the long run? Well, Philip, memory is the part of the show where we show the audience just how much we know our stuff. If we have our lines and questions all memorized, in addition to having learned, organized, and styled all of our information, we can give our listeners the best possible show they can remember. Memory really comes into play when we want to focus on showing off all of our mad broadcasting skills instead of focusing on reading off of a piece of paper. Last but not least, Victoria from Michigan. Victoria would like to know, how is it possible for the Are You Smarter Than an English Major team to be able to deliver such a wonderful show? This is a great question. It's funny we ended on this one actually, because in order to answer this, let's refer back to the other questions a bit. To deliver a show like this takes a lot of work. We need to use invention in organizing the informational side of the show. We arrange all of that information to scripts, questions, and anything else we might need for the production. Of course, we can't forget about the unique style all of our team puts into it all. We used our memory to make it all of our own. And finally, we deliver the greatest game show in the history of game shows, if I do say so myself. From all these points, delivery is where we seal the deal and make sure our program's message is clear and easy to understand so everyone can have fun while tuning in. All of this is how Rheto-Rick's team here at Are You Smarter Than an English Major has managed to make headlines across the country. Thank you all for these amazing and insightful questions about our show. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Casey, and shout out to all of our fans. If you have questions, feel free to write us at smarterthanenglishmajor@rhetoric.com. We really love to hear your voices. It is now on to the final round, the speed round. The contestants will be given a series of questions based on rhetorical theory at rapid intervals and will receive points throughout the final stage. Now, Ari the Burger Flipper is leading 1,000 points ahead with Pokemon card seller Samantha's 900 points. These questions will be asked to both contestants simultaneously. Samantha and Ari, are you ready for the final stage?
Yes, I am.
Absolutely.
Well, in that case, here we go. Question 1. Which rhetorical method of persuasion uses ethics as its appeal and depends on the credibility and expertise as a persuasive technique?
Ding! Ethos.
That is correct, Sam. 100 points for you. Question 2. What rhetorical device is an argument in which one premise is not explicitly stated?
Ding! An enthymeme.
That is correct, Ari. 250 points for you. Question 3. Name each of the 5 canons of rhetoric. Naming the 5 canons earns you 500 points. Go!
Ding! Style, invention, delivery, pathos, and stasis.
That is incorrect. Sam, do you know the 5 canons in order to steal those 500 points from Ari?
Yes. Invention, arrangement, style, memory, and delivery.
That is correct. Samantha has stolen the coveted 500 points, leading the game with 1,500 points, and Ari's just going with 1,250. All right. Final question. For 1,000 points, yes, 1,000 points, the person who wins this will most certainly win the show and receive the grand prize. True or false? Logos is the appeal of using graphs and data in order to appeal to a person's logic. You can see in the contestants' faces and the dead silence that this is a tricky question, and to answer this, you truly had to have taken a rhetorical theory class. Let's see who answers correctly.
Ding!
I remember this from high school. I used stats and numbers to make my papers go from a B to an A, so the answer is true.
Ari, what do you think?
Well, Sam may have the right idea, but logos can't be just made by graphs and statistics. So I'm going to go with false.
Two polar opposites vying for the grand prize. The answer to this question is false. Whoever your high school professor was, Sam, they were not smarter than the English major and costed you second place in this final round. Sorry, Sam. But at least you went with the knowledge of using the rhetorical appeals correctly.
Darn it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ari Salzman is indeed smarter than an English major. Give a clap for our winner, everybody. Ari, your grand prize is the complete ownership of the Library of Congress. Yes, that's right. The U.S. government thanks you for all your dedication to the study of the English language and the pursuit of knowledge. Ari, what do you have to say for yourself?
Wow, this is the best reward I could have ever imagined. I have a ton of reading to do.
Indeed you do, buddy. And that's all we have for today in our show. Be sure to tune in next week. And to learn more about the amazing tool of rhetoric, visit our informational website at www.rhetoric.byu.edu. And that's all for we had today. Thank you for watching. Are You Smarter Than an English Major? I'm Rheto-Rick, and enjoy your day. The following is a transcript of an educational program either done by podcast or video production. This was inspired by a writing assignment from English Professor Vernon Dickson, which he promoted each student to use the creative means to explain the individual definition of rhetoric.
After a previous podcast sample of Rhetoric, the everyday tool towards your success, FIU students Elijah Pestana, Samantha Melendez, and Ari Salzman created a game show format that teaches the audience various aspects and tools of rhetorical theory.
The show, Are You Smarter Than an English Major, opens up in the final moments of the game show. The host, Rheto-Rick, introduces the show and takes a moment to speak to the final contestants before going into the section, Questions from Our Listeners. This segment introduces the 5 canons of rhetoric through questions given from the show's viewers, answered by co-host Casey Canon, pun intended. The show then returns with questions of rhetorical theory and leads up to contestant Ari Salzman winning the game, with the grand prize being ownership of the Library of Congress.
The game show then ends with the host encouraging viewers to tune in next week and learn more about rhetoric through the informational website Teaching Rhetoric, Silvio Rhetoricae, The Forest of Rhetoric, by u.edu. Are You Smarter Than an English Major was created and produced by Elijah Pestana and still work in progress.